Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Intern Queen YouTube channel. We have a guest at our Intern Queen headquarters today. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hey guys, my name's Aileen. I run a channel called Lavender on YouTube, and it's all about personal development and lifestyle design. So becoming your best self and creating your dream life.
And we actually found her channel because we were kind of combing through. We always like to find like the Zen channels. And I think we watched one of your videos on a vision board.
Yep.
I watched another time management video, and we were kind of like, we want to be as Zen
I'm very
as
calm.
she is. Everything feels so calm. We need a little bit of that. And we also thought that your videos they just look. They have such a cool visual look and appeal to them.
Thank
so
you.
we thought you would be like the perfect person to have on our channel to talk about online and personal branding, because we really haven't talked about that at all here on our YouTube channel. We're almost at our 1 year anniversary.
Yay.
So we thought we would talk about just personal branding, and I guess I'd love to hear kind of what personal branding means to you and how you feel like you've been able to build your brand over the years.
I mean, to me, branding is, especially a personal brand, it's an extension of yourself. So everything that you create, from like the words that you use to the visuals to just the feel, the atmosphere of everything, it's like supposed to reflect your personality. And so that's why like my channel is very calm. Visually, I really like pastel colors, and I'm all about like dreamy, airy feels. So I think it's whatever you like, put that into your brand, and that's what makes your brand unique, because whatever makes you unique is what makes your brand unique.
And so I feel like sometimes, and we deal with this at Intern Queen, when you're trying to work on your brand, and it's funny, you're like the most relaxed person in the world, and at Intern Queen we're like, well, hello everybody!
No, you guys are like determined and ambitious.
Yeah,
I love it.
We're like, hot pink, please.
Yeah, no, that's great.
So it's so funny to hear the difference between the two. But I think something that we struggle with sometimes is like, when you have so many different things to do, and I know you're doing, a million different things, and you're, editing these videos and whatnot, like, how do you kind of draw the line and say, okay, like I care about my brand, and I want everything to look perfect, and I want the text to look great and this to look great. How do you kind of like control yourself so that there's like do you know what I mean? That you actually stop your project and you don't just like keep doing the same project forever and ever, because you could always,
Exactly. You can't be a perfectionist. That's one thing. It's better done than perfect is what I like to go by, because I like to keep a consistent schedule. That's how I keep things like going with the momentum. So every Wednesday I post a video, and I think consistency is so important to building a personal brand. It really is, like, I would say, the number one thing, and everything else is like secondary. So consistency is so important, and to meet like that video every month, you have to just like, you can't do everything that you want to do. You're like, at some point I'm just gonna have to let it be imperfect and just let it be, as long as you're being your authentic self in that video or blog, whatever it is, then that's fine.
So I'm personally obsessed with schedules. So now and you just brought it up. So now I'm curious. So like, give us like, like a glance over. Like if I was to open like your at a glance calendar, you probably have a way, different planner. But and you're like your whole week. Like, what does that look like? How do you kind of run your schedule?
Okay, so Mondays and Tuesdays are my shooting and editing days, and I really reserve those 2 days to just be with the camera or like be editing. I don't want to answer too many emails. I don't do anything else that I do. So Wednesdays are the days where Wednesdays and Thursdays I'll schedule meetings with other people, and then I also have a podcast. So I'll record my podcast on Thursdays. And then Fridays, I like to leave it open to catch up on emails that aren't business related, and just to do more creative stuff. So stuff for fun. Friday's my fun day.
I like that. Friday fun day. So you mentioned that you have a podcast, which is so cool. I don't think we've heard it, so now I have to add it. My new thing is on airplanes listening to podcasts. I feel like it's a good. So another thing that I think has been hard for us, so I'm curious to hear how you've dealt with it, is like, okay, so you have your Facebook, right? You have your Twitter, you have your Snapchat, you have your Instagram, you have your YouTube, and now you have a podcast, which is so cool. We don't do that. How do you keep everything like on brand, but also make sure that it's not just the same content and pictures like repeated everywhere? Is there a strategy for that?
Well, I don't know if it's a strategy, but for me, I like to put different pieces of content. Yes, for some platforms you can like redistribute content, but for example, every platform has a different it's a different outlet for me. YouTube is my main one, and I love YouTube. I put all my heart into YouTube. My podcasts are like weekly podcasts where I'm more casual. It's just me talking about my life and what I learned, but it's very like off the cuff. It's very raw, and I don't prepare it. I don't rehearse it. My YouTube videos are more edited and polished. So my podcast is me expressing myself. My Instagram is like my visual mood board. So it's not it's not real life. Instagram is not real life, guys. Instagram is just like what I want my world to look like. So I pick the photos that look beautiful.
You want your world
exactly.
to look
Everyone's Instagram is what they want their world to look like. It's not like you're gonna wake up and take an Instagram photo without, So, and then Snapchat is more real life. You see, so Snapchat, I try to, that's like
just
so
show
casual.
Off what you're doing, right?
Right, and then I hate Instagram stories right now because it's confusing me because it's the same thing as Snapchat.
I agree. It's like,
and I'm
when
like,
do you
I have
post
to
an
post
Instagram
things
story
twice.
and when do you post a Snap? I haven't figured it out yet either.
I still like Snapchat better, but we'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. It's changing. So what advice do you have for people that, well, I guess there's kind of two different viewers probably watching, right? So I think our first viewer is probably saying, okay, well, maybe I don't want to be like a YouTube personality like the two people we're watching on camera right now. Hi. But, I do want to use these social media online branding tips to kind of brand myself as a professional going into the workplace and getting a job. So for someone who's just, they want a job in marketing. I don't think they need a YouTube channel, but I do think it's important that they understand how YouTube operates because so many different people want to have a YouTube channel, right? So many different businesses want to understand how to use it. So I mean, the average job seeker, what social channels do they need to worry about their online presence on?
I think this is a great question because in this day and age, everybody has their own personal brand, whether you want to or not. If you have a Facebook page,
can't escape it.
You can't. If you have a Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, like that's your personal brand, and whatever you put on that reflects who you are. So for tips for job seekers, I would say get a good photo of yourself. If I'm sure you have like a photographer friend, just you need at least one. You deserve at least one good photo of yourself, really. And that photo, make sure it's not too crazy, or put that on your LinkedIn, your Facebook, all your social media profiles. I guess LinkedIn could be more professional, but put more fun ones on Facebook. But you just want to have good photos, and then make sure you're posting things that reflect who you are. I would say it's up to you whether you want to post often or not, but whatever you post, you have to think about it. Like someone who's going to hire me is going to see these photos and this content. So I think always, like, if you have good content, like, it looks good for job seekers too. Like, oh, this person has like a well put out page.
Right.
I think it looks good.
I agree. So I think our other viewer, they want to be you. Let's be real. They want to be you.
Gosh.
They want to have a presence on all these channels. They want to get into it. So I guess what is your top piece of advice that you have for viewers that want to, create their own podcasts and YouTube channels and things like that? Like, what do they need to know about online branding? What do you think is the most important either piece of advice or lesson you've learned?
Most important, you have to talk about something that you're like 1,000 times passionate about, because when you start out, there's no reward for doing it. You just do it because you love it, right? And it takes a long time to build. So first, you have to be super passionate, and when you're passionate about a concept or an area, then you'll never run out of ideas to talk about, because you're gonna have to create weekly content. And that goes into my next one. Like I said, consistency is super important for anything that you're doing online, for building a brand, because you wanna just be on a schedule first, because you want people to know when they can expect to see your stuff. And then secondly, it helps you build your habits to be consistent so you don't get lazy. And also, there was one more thing and I forgot. But
it's okay.
That's fine. Yeah, but consistency is super important, and that's just how you create a good brand.
Yeah, I agree. Consistency is definitely key. So I'm so excited you could join us. And we have never done a personal branding, online branding kind of video, so I'm sure this is the first of many, and I think this is some awesome advice and definitely from a great place. So thank you guys so much. We'll include all the social channels you need to follow below, and yes, thanks again.
Thank you.
You're awesome.